our channel. This is InfoPod, the pod to connect you with the world of knowledge, motivation, and creativity. Welcome to episode 3 of our podcast. In previous episode, Gokul shared about financial literacy and capitalist mindset with all of us. In this episode, let's dig deeper into the mindset of a businessman. Gokul, what is it that you call to be the capitalist mindset and how is it achieved?
A businessman must have a capitalist mindset that considers profit to be one of the main objectives. There's a quote that explains this. A pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, while the realist adjusts the sail. So the poor are pessimists and the middle class are optimists, and the rich people are realists and opportunists. So poor people actually blame others for their situation, while middle class crumbles due to their own inefficiency and guilt. Rich people actually assume responsibility of their own life.
Even the poor and middle class assume responsibility of their life, right?
The word responsibility has multiple aspects here. Say financial responsibility and also accountability. So poor people basically blame government for their own financial situation and life, standards of life, while the middle class actually blames their employers for not able to give them promotions and bonuses. Rich people actually take responsibility and accountability of their own failures. So they have, they don't have anybody to blame. So they basically, they are accountable for their own deeds.
Okay.
So basically, have not say that love of money is the root of all evil. While they have say that lack of money is the root of all evil. So it is actually commonly said that, poor says, I can't afford it. While the rich actually say, how can I afford it? That is what we call as a rich mindset. Because one is a statement and other is a question. One actually lets you off the hook and the other actually forces you to think. So when you say I can't afford it, your brain stops working, right? You just go to the next deed you are about to do. So by asking the question, how can I afford it? Your brain is put to work. Just believe that always saying I can't afford it is a sign of mental laziness. No, you are not just thinking out of the box. So one says, when it comes to money, play it safe. Don't ever take risks. While the other, actually says, learn to manage risk. So which do you think, will be, a good thing in the long run? Not taking risks or learn to manage risks.
Learning to manage risks will be better in the long run.
Yeah, people really do shape their lives through their thoughts. Poor would say, I'm not interested in money or money doesn't matter. And they work, 8 to 10 hours a day just to get money. So it is actually their fear and ignorance. So rich would say money is power. No one wants to study hard, earn a degree, and get a job to earn money. The rich actually invest in studying to be rich, to understand how money works, and to learn how to have it work for you. So, it's a very beautiful poem of Robert Frost, which says, the poem Road Not Taken. There are two diverging roads before you, and it all depends on you to choose the path. The one is less traveled and the one is more frequently traveled. You can't basically come to the same road again, right? So this applies to reality too. You can't come back to the same road again to change the path you traveled. But with the same mindset. And now is the time to decide actually. So basically poor also wanted to win, but the fear of losing was greater than the excitement of winning. Deep inside their heart, they and only they know that they did not go for it. They chose to play it safe. So most will spend the best years of their lives working for money, not really understanding what they are working for. So if you think basically others to be the problem, then you have to change them, right? If you realize that you are the problem, then you can change yourself, learn something and grow wiser.
Do you mean just like the quote, to see the change, be the change, right?
Yes. Most people want everyone else in the world to change but themselves. Let me tell you, it's easier to change yourself than everyone else. So when it comes to money, most people want to play it safe and feel secure. So passion does not direct them, fear does. So now you tell me, why middle class suffer?
I think it's because they chose to work in a job simply because it's easier to learn to work for money as fear is their primary emotion when the subject of money is being discussed.
Yeah. And just know that it's fear that keeps most people working at a job. The fear of not paying their bills, the fear of being fired, the fear of not having enough money, and the fear of starting over. So most people have a price, and they have a price because of human emotions and then fear and greed. First, the fear of being without money motivates them to work hard. And then once they get the paycheck, the greed or desire, automatically makes them think about all the wonderful things money can buy them. So the pattern is then set, pattern of getting up, going to work, paying bills, and it actually repeats. So basically, people's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. Offer them more money and they will continue the cycle by increasing the spending. So this is what we call as the rat race.
So do you mean that people should love the job they do?
Yes, of course. Because when you love the work you do, it isn't actually a work, right? So that
Yeah,
would be the
true.
best thing to ever do.
Okay, so now when we are talking about rich people, I have this to ask you now. Rich people do have a lot of money for sure, but it is also found that these people are emotionally desperate and neurotic. Why do you think that happens?
In fact, the reason many rich people are rich isn't because of desire, but because of fear. They believe that money can eliminate the fear of being poor. So they, amass tons of it only to find the fear gets worse. The fear the money. Those who keep working even though they have plenty fall in this category. They are just greedy, right? So I
Yeah.
know people have millions who are more afraid now than they were poor. So they are terrified of losing it all. So the fears that drove them to get rich got worse. The weak and needy part of the soul, as I said in the previous section, is actually screaming louder now. So they don't want to lose big houses, the car, and the high life money has bought them. Many are emotionally desperate and neurotic, although they look rich and have more money. Being attached to money is, as psychotic as avoidance of money.
Absolutely, Gokul. Now, I want to ask you this specifically about the situation where people who think of the possibility of starting a business, but they are restricting themselves from proceeding. Like, what do you think are the possible factors that is stopping people from starting a business?
No, there are two courses to explain the situation, to just motivate them to start. So the first one is doubt killed more dreams than failure ever will. So basically self-doubt, arousing due to lower self-esteem and self-confidence is stopping people from starting a business. And also many people think that the starting of business is time consuming. Like say, for example, it takes 10 years or 5 years to be stable. So don't ignore a goal because of the time it takes. Time passes anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I would say. No, don't ever ignore a goal just because of the time it takes. Time passes anyway. And also, this is one very important thing to consider. According to psychiatrists, the fear of public speaking is caused by the fear of ostracism. The fear of standing out, the fear of criticism, the fear of ridicule, and the fear of being an outcast. The fear of being different prevents most people from seeking new ways to solve their problems. So we have to do it in this way because that's the way everyone else does. So that is the common mentality of people, who want to play it safe, those who don't want to go against the tide.
Yeah.
So they pretty much don't want to take any risks and give lame excuses. That is actually representing their lack of will. First, actually, you need to understand the different quadrants that we fall into. When it comes to business, jobs or business. The first quadrant is employee, second is self-employed, third is business, and fourth is investor. Okay. Basically, those who don't have any pre-inherited capital will definitely have to start from the employee quadrant, right?
Yeah.
So they have to slowly, make a shift from the employee sector to self-employed, and then he must come into business. But just as I said, people are, after feeling secure in a high-paying job, settle there, or thinking that they are financially at a good position. So the shift doesn't happen that frequently. Only the ones with courage take the risk and gets rewards proportional to the risk. The more you plan, the more the probability you can stand. So you must have played Monopoly, right?
Yeah, I have.
Now think of playing Monopoly just by passing the paycheck square and being happy with it. Doesn't that sound weird?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is what is happening in reality. So, you just have to consider a little bit, that either you are going to follow the rat race or to stand out of the crowd.
Okay. So we've learned quite a lot about capitalist mindset in this episode. Gokul has also emphasized on being the change that you want to see. And he also has said that choose a job which you would love to do. With this, we have come to the end of episode 3. Thank you everyone for watching. To learn more about business, stay tuned with us. This is InfoPort signing off.